Hello, I'm Reetu. Welcome to the International Day of Yoga. In this session, I want to explore a little bit more about the history of yoga, the significance, talk about the 17 Sustainable Development Goals, and link the Sustainable Development Goals to the yoga philosophy. So I'm going to share my screen with you and then we'll get started. Yoga was developed in India over 5,000 years ago. So it's nothing new. It was popularized by Patanjali, the compiler of Yoga Sutras, and a text on yoga theory and practice. In the modern day era, Bhagavad Gita is known to be the most renowned of the yogi scriptures. Bhagavad Gita is the holy book of the Hinduism. Now, what I really want to talk about is the United Nations International Day of Yoga. Now, United Nations International Day of Yoga is in its 7th year this year. The significance of yoga practice is an integral part of India's history. Now, Swami Vivekananda is credited with bringing yoga to the West with his address at the World Parliament of Religions in Chicago in 1893. However, it is the current Prime Minister, Narendra Modi, who took this to the United Nations, and I'll sometimes say UN, General Assembly in 2014. That is the year when Modi actually became the Prime Minister. He went to America for the first time to join the United Nations General Assembly. And that is where he proposed the International Day of Yoga. Now, amazingly, 170 countries supported the proposal. And it was the first time that any proposal in the United Nations General Assembly was passed in just 100 days. So there is something about the yoga and the yoga philosophy. Over 2 billion people are actually practicing yoga currently. So this is from the United Nations websites, various websites. International Day of Yoga, or commonly and unofficially referred to Yoga Day, is celebrated annually on 21st June, since its inception in 2015. As I mentioned, yoga was declared unanimously by the United Nations General Assembly. United Nations, quote, yoga is a physical, mental, and spiritual practice which originated in India. So be aware that yoga is beyond just the physical exercise. It has benefits at the mental level as well and spiritual. And according to the United Nations, the significance is promotion of global health. Health is a big issue at the moment. It's about global health, harmony, and peace. So let me repeat again, yoga is not just about the physical exercise. It goes beyond that, having benefits at the mental and the spiritual level. And it's just not about health. It's about harmony and peace. Again, according to the United Nations, The International Day of Yoga strives to increase global awareness of the benefits of practicing yoga. Key word here, enormous benefits. The resolution notes the importance of individuals and populations making healthier choices and following lifestyle patterns that promote good health. So here we are talking about making healthier choices for ourselves, for others, and as a community as a whole, populations, individuals and populations, and by following lifestyle patterns. So it's about incorporating yoga into your daily life, not just the 60 minutes on the mat that we do on the yoga studio. Now, interestingly, I wanted to know why 21st June was picked as the International Day of Yoga. Well, this is when the sun begins to move from the northern hemisphere to the southern hemisphere. So in the northern hemisphere, and India is included in that, where yoga originated from, it is known as summer solstice, where we have the longest period of daylight and the shortest night. However, in the southern hemisphere, Australia, it is winter solstice. We have the shortest period of daylight and the longest night of the year. However, and the point from yoga perspective, it is the time of transformation. The time is considered to be better time for conversion. According to the Yoga Shastras, that is the book of knowledge, it is a period of transformation where we're shifting from darkness to light. And that is in line with the Sankranti, meaning sacred change. Okay, and right at the top I've got here, 21st of June is also known as Krishna Sankranti. I hope I pronounced that correctly. So now we move on to the 17 Sustainable Development Goals. The United Nations site tells us that the 17 Sustainable Development Goals are to transform our world. Transform our world. And to me, this is the time where we need to act. We need to be aware of what we are doing. Remember, it's the time of transformation period. The sun begins to move from northern hemisphere to southern hemisphere. There is a shift happening, a sacred change which is happening. Period of transformation that's happening. Okay? And the development goals are there to transform our world. United Nations, and quote, the Sustainable Development Goals are a call for action by all countries, everyone, poor, rich, and middle income, to promote prosperity while protecting the planet. So the Sustainable Development Goals are about prosperity and our planet. Now, the 17 Sustainable Development Goals have a target of 2030. So they're working from now, 2020 to 2030. And I won't read all of them out, but you can read, and many of you might know. The targets are no poverty, zero hunger. Good health and well-being is crucial. We found that in the times of COVID. quality education, gender equality, and then we go to climate action, life below water, life on land. To me, that is all to do with protecting the planet, all to do with climate. Peace, justice, and strong institution and partnership for the goals. Coming back to promote prosperity, i.e. no poverty, no hunger, gender equality, good health and well-being, clean water and sanitation, economic growth, clean energy, all of that comes into promoting prosperity, protecting our planet, responsible consumption and production, sustainable communities and cities, climate action, and so on. So I'm not sure whether you can already see the link here between what yoga is talking about and what the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals is all about. But let's go in a little bit deeper so I can explain a little bit more here. The SDGs, the 17 of them that I've just shown you, or global goals, are a collection of 17 interlinked goals designed to be a blueprint to achieve a better and more sustainable future for all. Okay, all countries. The yoga philosophy, and quote, is a blueprint to follow which leads us to a happy, healthy, and peaceful life. Happiness that transforms into deep and long-lasting contentment, health that keeps our bodies and minds vital and vibrant, peace that not only manifests within ourselves, but also with the world around us. And really, with my journey through yoga has led me to this transformation. One of the greatest teachers of yoga had mentioned, yoga does not just change the way we see things, it transforms the person who sees. So watch the words here: better, more sustainable future for all. Prosperity, protecting the planet. Call for action by all countries. Good health and well-being. So what does yoga say? Happiness, healthy, peaceful. One of the sustainable goals is peace. Peace, justice, and strong institutions. If you have peace, justice, and strong institution, you're automatically going to lead to partnerships to achieve these goals, because you're coming off a place of cooperation rather than competition. So yoga is already relating to Sustainable Development Goal of 3, good health and well-being. 16, peace, justice, and strong institution. Ripple effect. If you work on one, it's going to have a ripple effect, and they are all interlinked, as the United Nations tells us. Peace, strong institution are going to lead to partnerships. Peace that not only manifests within ourselves, but also around the world. Okay, all around the world. And that's what we have for all countries to promote prosperity. When you have partnerships, you automatically will be working towards prosperity, of working to reduce the hunger in the world, perhaps working with the homeless, perhaps working with the community, a not-profit organization. That is exactly where my journey through yoga led me. Let's go one step further here. United Nations theme for the past years on this International Day of Yoga, how that relates to the Sustainable Development Goals. So we're into our 7th year, as I mentioned. Inception of the International Day of Yoga was in 2015, our first ever. Yoga for Harmony and Peace. 2018, Yoga for Peace. That is your Sustainable Development Goal 16. Now, as I mentioned, 16 is peace, justice, and strong institutions. Once you have peace and justice and strong institutions, you're automatically going to lead to SDG 17, which is partnerships for attaining these goals. 2017, we had Yoga for Health. 2020, we had Yoga at Home, Yoga for Health, appropriately during the COVID year. And this year, we've got Yoga for Wellbeing, all relating to our Sustainable Development Goal 3, which is good health and well-being. When you have good health and well-being, you want to do more. It leads to quality education. It leads to, I'm reading from here, responsible consumption and production. And remember, the UN also cited that they're interlinked. So when you work on one, it will have an effect on the others. And I'm just giving you a brief examples here. 2019, it was climate action, directly relating to Sustainable Development Goal 13. And I'm going to talk about that a little bit more on the next slide. Yoga for Health. We've talked about that. 16, I missed this part. Connect the youth. That is our future. Youth are our future leaders, and connection with them, in fact, with every generation, is the key for sustainable and a better future. Leave no one behind is the motto of United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. So we need to look after all generations, especially the youth, because they are future leaders. So again, going to various United Nations website, the aim of this day is to educate people relating to our Sustainable Development 4 about physical, mental, and spiritual benefits that can be derived from practicing yoga. To me, yoga have highlighted the physical benefits. It's getting to the mental benefits at the moment where we're using yoga for stress, anxiety, and depression. However, I think the spiritual part is still missing. All right, let's move on. Clean environment plays an important role in yoga. Did you know about that? We practice yoga every day, but in the air we are doing yoga, is it clean? Earth is constantly being harmed by responsible human activities, resulting in huge changes in climate conditions. Therefore, the UN has selected this theme to make people aware of climate change through yoga. That's right. Yoga is also about climate change, and I mentioned SDG 13. But SDG 14 and 15 are about life underwater and life on land. Us humans depend on earth and oceans to live. It's all about interconnection. Now, don't forget, oceans are not only the source of life on the planet, but they are also the world's largest ecosystem. So we need to look after that ecosystem. On Earth, our diet is a big part. 80% is plant life. How are we taking care of our Earth? 220 theme is about yoga for health and yoga at home. Okay, we all know the pandemic has shown us the importance of immunity and healthy living. So it's not just about health, it's about living a healthy life. It's about lifestyle changes. And the World Health Organization also mentions yoga as a means to improve health. And they've got this article, Global Action Plan on Physical Activity, More Active People for Healthier World, if you want to pursue more. Now coming to the youth. Now the importance of the youth. There are 1.8 billion people between the ages of 10 and 24. And we are the largest generation of youth in history. So roughly we have 1.8 and we have 7.6 billion people at the moment. That is over 23% in that age group. And the United Nations tell us we need to, provided with the necessary skills and opportunities needed to reach their potential, young people can be the driving force. They can be the driving force for supporting development and contributing to peace and security. With political commitment and adequate resources, young people have the potential to make the most effective transformation. Transformation is the key words that's coming through Sustainable Development Goals and yoga. Most effective transformation of the world into a better place for all. So the importance of connecting with the youth. So just to finish off, I want you to pay attention to the message by the PM of India, Sri Modi, which he took to the United Nations. Yoga is an invaluable gift of ancient Indian tradition. It embodies the unity of mind and body. In fact, the meaning of yoga is union, unite. Thought and action, restraint and fulfillment, harmony between man, nature, holistic approach to health and well-being. Yoga is not about exercise, but to discover the sense of oneness with ourselves, the world, and the nature. So it leads to a lot of sustainable development goals. Health and well-being. Okay. Embody unity of mind and body. Automatically, you start looking at yourself through the lens of oneness and helping each other out. Has been my experience. By changing our lifestyle and creating consciousness, it can help us to deal with climate change. Let us work towards adopting an International Yoga Day. So with that, what I'm encouraging everybody to do this International Yoga Day is to take the yoga off the physical mats and also in your daily life, everyday life. Take care, everyone, and bye for now.